with Mathilde, who is the LBE manager for Ubisoft to Stage. One clicker.
Thank you. It's going to be hard to live up to your articulate thoughts and speech, Louis. Thank you for that. Hi, everyone. I want to thank you for still being here. I know that we're nearing the end of this event, that you all want to go home to your friends and to your family. So in exchange for you still being here, I'm going to try to be quick and to the point and as entertaining as I can. Do I have to switch to the next? Okay. I'm going to start with a pop-up quiz. How old do you think I am? Please throw numbers. 21. God, this is okay. This is offensive. Now, older than 16, younger than 45. Come on, you guys can do it. Less than 30. 28. I heard 28, I think. Anyway, you win. You win. You win my eternal gratitude for making this introduction work. I am indeed 28, which means that if you do the math, and I know that some of you are starting to think, why is she scheduled to speak? She's way too young. I was born in 1991, the same year as TEA, and the same year that the internet became public. By 2000, about 360 million people had access to the internet. Today, we're 4.4 billion people. It's 60% of the world's population. This started everything. This started the digital revolution and shaped the digital world as we know it today. And it allowed companies like Amazon, 3 years later, to launch. I was 3 years old. 1998, I was 7 years old, spending the summer holiday with my cousin when both Google and Tencent were created. Huge, huge year, right? Both companies ended up launching multiple services from emails to social media, maps, browsers. They shaped the internet and the digital world as we know it today. 2001, Wikipedia, first user-generated online encyclopedia, consulted today 18 billion times every month. Huge. 2005, YouTube. 2006, Facebook. I was 15 years old, right in that prime sweet spot, an early adopter. This is my first ever profile picture, fun fact. And it is now used by 2.4 billion people, so 1/3 of the world's population. This is huge. And this changed forever the way that me and my generation connect with the people that we know. And this is me today, or a photoshopped version of me, I guess. My name's Mathilde Bresson, or Mathilde Bresson because I'm French, and I work for a great company called Ubisoft. I'm not going to do promotion, but it's just to situate a little. Ubisoft is a major video game company. We're one of the leading designers and producers of video games. We do games on console, on PC, on mobile phones. We have about 16,000 employees across the world, 3 offices here in China. And you might know us through our main intellectual properties like Assassin's Creed, Just Dance, Rabbids, etc. For the last 4 years, I've been helping this company develop into the world of LBE, into your world, and that explains why I'm here. That being said, the topic of today isn't video games. The topic of today is millennials. What are millennials? Oh, that shifted. Okay, interesting. Not going to work as well. But essentially, millennials are right here. It's the generation of people that were born between the year of 1981 and 1996. So my generation. Why does this generation matter? 3 reasons. Number one, as we just discussed, we're the first digital generation. So I grew up, adopting emerging technologies that are absolutely prominent today. They changed everything. The way we look for jobs, how we communicate with each other, our perception of time, of space, how we shop, how we consume entertainment. It changed everything. Very different from previous generations. Number two, if you do the math again, I'm 28, so in the next 10 years, if I'm lucky, I might get to create a family. And then suddenly, I become one of your primary consumer, right? And as I grow up, I keep the same expectations, and my view of the world is um, shaped by my upbringing in the digital world. So I bring those expectations, I pass them on to my kids, and here you go. You have a new pool of clients that have changed and that expect different things from their entertainment. And finally, over the last 4 years, I've had the chance to meet a lot of you guys, and I haven't seen a lot of people my age. So I want to thank SATE for allowing me today to try to be the voice of my generation. And yeah, so the goal is to try to, in a very compact format, share a few insights into how I think we see the world and what I think are our new expectations towards everything entertainment and also location-based entertainment. This isn't a lesson. It's not an exact science. What I'm sharing is my perspective. It may vary depending on which country you're from, which social category, but I think they're general trends. And I wanted to share them today in the hope that maybe those inspire new work processes, new ways to design attractions, new ways to operate them, new experiences, etc. I'd like to get one thing straight. A lot of people say about my generation that we're basically couch potatoes, right? We stay at home, we connect with people online, never in real life. Well, that's not really true, is it? Never has the live event industry sold as many tickets. And if you look at this curve, it corresponds to millennials growing up and making their own money and being able to spend it. So, no, we do get out of our homes and out of the computer. But the question is, what makes us get out of our homes? I think if we want, to appeal to millennials, we have to start thinking global. 60% of the world's population shares more or less the same space, the internet. The consequence for my generation is that our sense of belonging and our sense of community and the friends we make are no longer defined by physical proximity, by geography. It's defined by something else. 40% of millennials say that they feel like global citizens rather than citizens of their own country. And I trust that because this is how I feel. I have a French passport. I'm very grateful for that. I was born in France, but I don't feel French first. I feel like a music lover. I connect with people who like the beach more than with, I think, people that are born from the same country. The consequence for us is that we turn to cultures, as I was saying, to music, to blockbuster shows, to relate. We regroup around cultural trends that were born far away from our homes, yet define who we are. Korean pop, the example of Korean pop is a great one for this. Korean pop it just surpassed the borders of Korea, of language barriers, of cultural barriers, to become one of the biggest musical trends today. This means that people around the world connect with Korean pop even though they're from Sweden or Brazil or any other country. And they regroup, and there's a community, and there's a sense of belonging that isn't informed by where they were born. So for us, I think as we start designing attractions and thinking of theming and of story, maybe we should broaden our horizons. Maybe we should get inspiration from cultural trends that aren't relevant to where we're from, but might appeal to a lot of people from this generation that, are just online and browsing about those cultures. Second way that I think we can appeal to millennials, and this is going to sound very obvious to you guys, is we need to design experiences that are digital and physical. Hence this very cheesy word of phygital. Sorry for this. There isn't another one on the market. Location-based entertainment experiences have stopped being offline experiences for a while. You book your ticket online, you pre-order your food online, you share your experience, you review it. There's no reason why a guest that starts their journey online should stop when they go through the gates of your park. You can't ask that from them. They started there. According to a study that ThinkWell did a few years back, sorry, it's a bit old, but I'm pretty sure it's still relevant. 76% of US theme park visitors come to the parks with their smartphones. Out of those 76%, 85% approximately actively engaged with their smartphones. This is our opportunity. It's a bunch of people that come into a park with a device that you haven't had to pay for, that's connected to the internet, that's a way to tell a story. I think the question isn't whether or not we should ban smartphones or how we should drive the attention away from smartphones, because this isn't a battle we're going to win. I think the question should be about what kind of content do we give to that digital hungry audience to reshift the attention to your story, to the immersion, to your park. How do we utilize that device and give them something that's gonna feed them while both being beneficial to your story? Is it a deeper backstory to your ride as you get through the queue? Is it do we allow people to connect through the park as dating apps do now? Like the people around you, could we do that? Maybe. But they are going to use their smartphones, and millennials especially, because it's their number one favorite device. So let's find a way to, make that work. Few companies have tried it, started to kind of scratch the surface of smartphone usage in theme parks, like Cedar Fair with the AR app. But I think we can do more. Number 3, offer choice, offer customization. We live in a world where we multi-subscribe to TV channels, to music, to gaming. I go on Netflix for the latest romantic comedies. I go to Hulu for The Handmaid's Tale. I go to Showtime for the reboot of Twin Peaks. I customize my own entertainment experience. And when I go to a theme park, I kind of expect the same then. So how do we give guests opportunities for choice within the park? A park or an FEC or any other kind of venue. Fortnite is an amazing example of a game that leveraged that need for customization very well. For those of you who don't know it, Fortnite is a free-to-play video game, meaning it's free, by a company called Epic Games, that even though it's free, made $2.4 billion in revenue last year. Pretty impressive, right? How do they do that? Well, mostly by allowing you to customize your avatar. They sell what they call skins, which are ways to make these characters look different. So we have, different gear, different types of characters. Some are animals, some are humans, robots. You can pretty much customize everything. And the better you are at the game, the more opportunities for customization you get. And the crazy thing is, customizing your avatar has been not only a way to express your personality, but also a way to express, to connect with the people around you. So choice, customization has become kind of a social differentiator for people playing the game. How do we allow a guest to do that within our parks? Is there a way? I think there probably is a way, but we need to start thinking about it. Get personal. The consequence of creating such customized experiences is that we create very multifaceted, very sophisticated identities, and we want people to talk to us like we're unique, like we're special. I go online, I open Facebook, Spotify, Amazon, Hulu, YouTube. They all talk to me specifically. They all tell me, hey, Mathilde, you should reorder Nutella. Of course, I don't do it. Every Monday morning, I get into my car and I hit the weekly discovery playlist from Spotify, and that has been built based on my taste. Hulu recommends the latest TV shows. Facebook tells me it's my 8-year anniversary, friendversary with somebody I don't talk to anymore, but that's fine. Either way, they talk to me specifically. It's going to be harder and harder for people of my generation to come through the gates of a location-based entertainment venue and be treated like I'm in a batch of people. It's tough, I know, operational constraints, capacity, everything, but maybe we need to start rethinking the model if we want to appeal to that generation. Immerse, Paul talked about it yesterday at length, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but Same thing. It's going to be tough for my generation to be put at a distance from the action. We're less and less impressed and immersed in like a theater setting where I'm sitting there, the action is on the screen, it's on the stage, and I have to pretend like the whole world disappears around me and this is happening. Um, Shows like Sleep No More or exhibitions like Team Lab, they're doing this pretty well now. They're putting you in the middle of the action, and I think this is going to be this is what we're looking for, and we should continue on that trend. Interact. That's again an obvious one, but I've heard too many times in this industry people refer to a live show that doesn't ask for audience interaction. They say that a live show is interactive. For me, interactive is two-way interaction. Is I give you something, you answer back, and I answer back and back, and it's a bouncing process. It's not just I'm giving you something, and because I don't really control it because it's a show, it's interactive. Um, our generation is looking to have an impact, to again customize our journey, but to inform how we're being entertained. And this doesn't only affect our industry. Netflix recently tried um, creating new, what they call choose your own adventure shows. So Black Mirror, that you might know and might have watched on Netflix, is a great show. And they did a special episode called Bandersnatch. And the point of Bandersnatch was that you as a viewer, sorry, you could choose on behalf of the main character a certain number of actions. Depending on what you were choosing, the plot was going one way or another. Not only was this successful for Netflix because they're launching multiple ones, but it was also successful because now they have data. They know exactly how you reacted to the content. They know exactly what you want, what you will want in the future. And I think that's going to help them create great entertainment. Co-create. We live in a world where I open up my Instagram and I can create stories, I can add music, filters, little GIFs, everything. I want to actively to be a content creator. And I want, whenever I like a content, to be kind of part of the whole story. I want to produce something that's going to be part of that whole environment. Lewis, you were saying that about co-creating with brands. We see more and more games, especially, but also more and more apps that allow you to do that, that make it easy for you to become a content creator. So we're going to have to share a bit of our power as we create the stories and as we immerse people in our parks. User-generated content has to be leveraged. We have to find a way to allow our guests to continue telling the story because this is already what they're doing and this is going to be what they're going to be looking for. Build worlds, again, Lewis, you got me there. We live in an era of transmedia. We tell stories and we're being told stories through multiple different platforms. If you take Marvel or Game of Thrones, you read the book, you watch the show, you play the game, you go to the LBE experience. And all of these are different bits and pieces of a story that come together and build an overall world. So for me, a park, a book, a film, a TV show, they're all entrance doors to the same story. To the same world. They're all going to tell the story of that world in a different way because they all are different mediums with different techniques and different expectations. But they should all lead to the same creative environment. That's the thing that moves me emotionally. That's the world and the characters and the plots and the settings that move me. So I think if we want to appeal to millennials and if we want to kind of use the fandom, create the fandom, we have to start thinking of a park or an LBE experience as one entrance door. We have to start wondering how does that story, can that story be continued on other media and how do we make that work? I think too often social media, or mostly social media, are overlooked. When you create, when you open a theme park, no one really thinks of social media as a way to continue the story. It's more here for marketing, for promotion. But no, how can that specific tool that people use, millennials use a lot, continue to tell the story in a different way, continue to enrich the environment? So, in my humble opinion, if you want to appeal to people like me that are going to grow up and spend a lot of money in your parks, we need to start thinking global. We need to start designing experiences that are not only physical but also digital. We need to offer choice, abilities to customize our experience. We need to get personal. We need to get up close. We need to talk to people like they're someone and not a number. We need to immerse, to interact. We need to co-create, and we need to build worlds. And that is it for me.
Thank you. Take that one.